Kevin Harlan here. The NBA on Prime crew is back, and the quest for the Emirates NBA Cup is center court once again. Group play is over. Now the remaining 8 teams do battle in the knockout rounds, and Prime is your exclusive home for all the action. It all starts with the quarterfinals. 2 consecutive nights of can't-miss NBA doubleheaders this Tuesday and Wednesday night. If you're not a Prime member, sign up for a 30-day free trial to get started today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. The Emirates NBA Cup quarterfinals, Tuesday and Wednesday night, only on Prime.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Yeah, what's happening? We about to bring that action. Gotta hold it down for my Seattle Kraken. Hey, we going beneath the waves. We going beneath the waves. Get it hype, step onto the ice. Ready for some action. Release the Kraken. Hey, we going beneath the waves. Going beneath the waves.
What's up, everyone? Welcome into the Beneath the Waves podcast, your weekly recap of all things Seattle hockey and beyond. I'm Matt.
I'm Alex.
And I am Derek. Before we start the show tonight, I just wanted to give another quick shout out to our very own Heather, who is still tearing it up for the Hockey News Women's, writing articles covering the Seattle Torrent. The Torrent, guys, were able to secure their very first win in franchise history. Let's go. Let's go, Torrent. Let's go, Torrent. Very first win in franchise history, and it was at home in front of the CPA fans. Super pumped for them. And if you want to stay up to date with Torrent news and their performance, go follow at Heather Nicole with no E. She wrote an amazing article covering this very first win and just the energy. She was there. I was not, so go read her perspective. You can also find her over at the Hockey News W. And you can also find her posting podcast episodes right here on BTW. I don't know if you guys knew that. Covering the Torrent for you guys to enjoy. Thank you. And back to you, Matthew.
Oh, you government named me. I don't like that. Gotta chill down my spine. I'm uncomfy now. Did you watch that game? Because, oh my God, that game was electric.
Yes, I did.
As like all games should be experienced, I was watching in bed on my phone with an AirPod in, and I almost jumped out of the bed when those 2 goals happened.
I couldn't believe it. Like, how many seconds apart were they?
Like 22 or something like that.
Insane.
It was super quick. And then our big talking point that we were trying to predict beforehand was what the goal song was going to be. And it got so loud in there on the broadcast that I couldn't hear what the song was. When Carpy scored that first goal, I had to rely on, I think it was Piper Shaw's tweet that just had the lyrics to Misery Business. And then I heard it the second time, even though it was just a little tougher to hear. But yeah, that game was electric. The one big thing about PWHL is they put all of their games up on YouTube after the fact. So if you did not watch it, go watch it, because it's awesome. It was quite the experience. I can only imagine what it was like there, and hopefully we'll hear from Heather soon outside of the article she wrote what that experience was like. For us here, it's going to be episode 48 of the BTW pod, and on this episode, we'll catch you up on the last week of games. We'll check in on all the Kraken news, and we'll also preview the week that we have ahead coming up. Now, time for the most downer part of our downer week, compared to past weeks at least, is we need to money puck around and find out. And Alex, after this week that we just had, how are things looking?
Well, we thought things couldn't go that bad. They went from bad to worse. Yeah, our money puck expectation to make the playoffs this season at the moment is a whopping 33.4%. So we've basically halved our chance of making the playoffs with the abysmal games that we have played over the last stretch. It's not looking good because it seems like nothing they are doing is working. They just absolutely look lost out there. Yeah, I'm not feeling too confident right now. I don't know about you guys. What are you guys feeling with this insane drop in percentage to make the playoffs this season?
Yeah, obviously not good. As a firm believer in everything Money Puck and fervent user, I am not liking that. I need to call up my connections over there and see what's going on. I think there might be a little bit of a glitch going on, maybe like when you called out that wheel thing on Twitter. But we are right now near that like 86, 87, 67 point projection. So considerably lower than we had been. We were nearing our the 96 that I was looking for recently. We're still hovering around like that 26th, 27th in power rankings. Our biggest sore spot on Money Puck in their evaluation of our team seems to be our scoring chances. They have us at about like 4% lower. So like basically we have like a 46% chance to beat an average team, which is really like horrible, obviously. Um, Basically because of our inability to generate scoring chances, which has been the biggest through line all season. So nothing really surprising there. It's just maybe a couple things kind of falling off here and there. Are we still doing a vibe check or is this the vibe check section?
I mean, we'll roll into it if you want to just
Okay, yeah.
keep rolling.
I have more in the vibe check, so you can go ahead, Matt.
Okay, this is the part where I start reminding myself of the new season's resolution that I tried to have of don't let the wheel dictate my life and my happiness with this team. And oh, after these last, not even just this last week, these last 2 weeks, that's getting mighty tough. So I'm gonna keep trying to hope that good things happen. This was like a really weird week, like we'll get into shortly here, I'm sure. Hell, let's just roll into it. We had two games that happened on the schedule this week. We had a 9-4 loss to the Oilers and a 4-3 loss to the Detroit Red Wings, putting us right now at a record of 11, 9, and 6. In terms of just our broad scope of how we're feeling, in terms of our vibes, I find it really weird to be in a position where we have been hounding on this team to score and score and score, and we got 4 goals, which seems like an amazing bar to reach for this team. But on the other end of those 4 goals is we got absolutely pumped by like 9 points. And it's like when you have the what's it's the meme where like the guy's reaching out to like grab the sun or whatever, and there's the creepy thing behind it like pulling it back away. That's what's happening. Or like the meme of the astronauts that's looking at the earth and there's the other guy behind him about to pop him. It's that same kind of thing. Like we're looking at something amazing, but something horrible is happening behind us. There was some positives. I would like to think there's a lot of negatives that we're going to get into once we start breaking these down a little more in depth. But one thing that stood out to me compared to last season or similar to last season is last season we talked about when Dan Bilesma would send guys up to the press box to kind of inject a little bit of life. And I feel we maybe got a hint of that in this last game. In this last game, when Jamie Alexiak was the healthy scratch and Josh Mahura came back down. And I don't know, we got lots of defensive opportunities scoring from the blue line in that last game against Detroit. So maybe when Rig comes back down from enjoying his nachos, he puts a new spark back into the team again. But it's just nice to, I mean, I'm always happy to see Josh Mahura make the lineup too. So that was in a little silver lining for me.
Yeah, I'm not feeling that good with this week's vibe check. Um, the way I kind of been looking at it has been like, when someone's like, "Oh, I've changed, I've changed, I've changed." Believe me, you got to trust me. And like for like a little while, like they actually deliver exactly what you've wanted and what they promise is of change, and then they just kind of go back to their own way of doing things. That's what I kind of see of the Seattle Kraken. Like we saw this team for the first 2 months and it looked promising. Like, don't get me wrong. Like there was a lot of promise. I was optimistic. I'm trying to be optimistic still. But what we've seen over a period of a stretch of games has just been like, you're the Kraken of old. I remember you. And I remember what heartbreak is. And you are the heartbreak. So it's kind of this weird place to be because when I look at this team, like one of the things that have really started to highlight is that this team lacks motivation, but this team also lacks identity. And we've had 3 coaches during this entire time that the Kraken have been a team, and we still do not have, we don't know what we are. Like, we can say that we're a defensively sound team, but I would beg to differ on that because, like, you're letting 9 goals in. Okay, we're gonna have stinkers like that, but like, I'm starting to kind of wonder, okay, are we a defensive team? We're definitely not a goal scoring team because we can't do that. I don't know what we are, and I think that's another key issue is that it's not the coaching, it's the players themselves. There's something rooted in the core of this team that needs to be fixed, and I don't know what that is anymore. You can plug and play while you want, but like, I just don't know anymore. Like Shane Wright playing fourth line minutes, like, he hasn't been doing anything this season, so like, I'm not gonna argue anything about that point. But like, it just seems like everything that we're trying just doesn't work. So I don't know what to do with this team. It's frustrating to watch this team again, like, over the last couple of games, because it's like the same old song and dance. It's going to be a defensive lapse. There's going to be goals coming in on the power play. When we're trying to kill the power play. I just don't know what this team is anymore. It's frustrating. It's irritating, and it's one of the most annoying things is when you're like, oh, there's a Kraken game on. I want to watch it, but I'm kind of expecting pain. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. It's probably just like a lull right now, in sense of like, it's that roller coaster where you're just going to deal with all the emotions. But right now it sucks.
Yeah. A couple things you said, Alex. I think that our team has had an identity. You kind of alluded to it with the defensive soundness. That's kind of been a thing for a while, maybe even over a year now, I think, where the idea for this core of players, I mean, we've talked about it for literally years, not on the podcast, but the fan base in general, years and years for offensive issues, right? Offensive issues, offensive issues. The sort of Kraken game plan is always like stay at home defensively, like be super good defensively, and then maybe you get an opportune goal, maybe you get another opportune goal, and that's kind of how this season had been going, where we're keeping everything to the outside, and then we get an opportunity and we capitalize on it, maybe once or twice, 3 times, maybe 3 times in a game. Let's go, 3 goals. I felt like a correction was needed because like all of the overtime games and all of these times where it was like, wow, we had a response. Like, whoa, we just scored another goal. Like, oh my God. That was happening all like to start this whole season. Um, like we've been talking about for weeks, we've had the best defensive numbers in the league and the worst offensive numbers in the league. So something about that was just really weird and maybe not sustainable. The defensive numbers have slightly faltered. We're not like the undisputed champions of the world in defense anymore. But really, I think like we're going to talk about the Edmonton game, but like the Edmonton game, you alluded to it, Alex. It could have easily been an overtime loss or a win if there was average goaltending performance in that game. That's a take that I'm going to have. We'll get into it. The expected goals were very close. There isn't a whole lot changing about the way we're playing defense, the way we're playing offense. It's really that third factor, I think, the goaltending that has been the slip lately, and that has caused the chaos that we're seeing. Obviously, we did have 2 games out of the last like 6 where we posted 0 goals. So the offensive woes are definitely going to hurt us. I'm not arguing that at all. But on the defensive side, I think we played better defense in that game than 9 goals would suggest. But I also think that that Edmonton game, another example, would be a clear W under like traditional superstar Joey goaltending that we were used to last year. 4 expected goals might only be like 2 goals against for Joey. Instead, it was 5 by the midway point in that game. And I don't really think there's that argument where it's like Joey's been bailing us out all year yet, because he really hasn't. He hasn't, like, over his season right now, he has an .891 save percentage on the season on 18 games played. So like not superstar level, not even really like amazing, really. The only potential argument I would see is that maybe he's recovering from being overworked last year. But we'll chat more about that later. That's kind of my vibe check right now, where I just kind of feel like the team's defense is similar. The offense seems similar. But when you don't score any goals ever, like, it's just probably something's going to fall off the rails. And I think that might be kind of what's derailing right now. Obviously, we've also had injuries and other stuff to consider like that. But the real heart of our problem continues to be the complete inability to put up serviceable scoring efforts.
Speaking of those injuries we've had to deal with, we've always opened up our more detailed breakdowns with our injury update, and everybody rejoice because for the first time this season, nobody got hurt this week, at least that we know of, that has been declared or put on IR. So exciting things there. Jared McCann didn't go down again, or like Capo Caco didn't have his third injury of the season or anything like that. So no one got hurt. That's a W for this week. We can have a little bit of stability. So again, everyone rejoice in your cars or cubicles or whatever the case may be. Now, here we go. The goalie update. Once again, Joey started both games this week, though, as we said, he was pulled in the Oilers game. Looking at the Oilers game, Joey was 9 for 14 on shots saved for a 6.43 save percentage, and Grew was 14 on 18 for a 7.78 save percentage. And then the Red Wings game, which is going to be less of a talking point, I'm sure. Joey was 21 of 25 for 8.40. So, Derek, you're usually the goalie stat whisperer. Take us through this here, how things are looking.
Yeah. So I can jump into the goalie numbers for the Oilers game. Basically what happened is Joey played about half that game, right? He played about 28 minutes, 29 minutes, or something like that. There were only 1.5 expected goals against Joey at that point in the game, and there were 5 goals that were allowed, okay? The biggest thing I want to say is that this is now, I think, like the 4th game this year where there were 20 shots or less, and Joey allowed 5 goals. That's happened like 4 times this season. Again, I love Joey. Joey's always been like our superstar guy the last like year and a half. But obviously there's something going on. And to ignore that would be kind of silly in my opinion. Obviously he does face a barrage, but like we've been talking about, the defense has allowed like some of the least expected goals in the league. So
is 14 shots a barrage though?
Yeah, no, that's not a
14
barrage.
shot is not a barrage.
That's not a barrage. Not a barrage at all. So I don't know what's going on. Maybe there is some unknown injury or something. I just don't know. Maybe Joey's just we've talked about how goalies might be voodoo as well. Really big like kind of talking point I'd say here though, if I want to get really spicy, is that I mean, when it's Grew, I mean, I just feel like it's open season on,
he gets crucified if he were to do that.
But then when it's Joey, it's like, oh, the the defense is failing. But 1.5 expected goals halfway through the game is completely reasonable, completely normal. 14 shots halfway through the game, completely normal, completely reasonable. So not a lot to save Joey there. Grubauer came into the game and his performance was also not great. It was below average. But in the second half, he faced 3 expected goals against and allowed 4. I think, at that midway point when it's 6-3, there's probably a lot of like momentum going Edmonton's way. And I think that's where they just kind of put their foot all the way on the gas and kind of just never looked back at that point. But really halfway into that game, it should have been probably 3-3. It could have easily been 3-3. And prime Joey, it could have been 3-1 Kraken. So
I think it's not that spicy of a take that you might have thought, saying like Joey gets all this grace and Grew would have been absolutely annihilated. But I think it's the body of work leading up to that is what causes that. We've had 4 1/4 seasons of Philip Grubauer doing not super great outside of like that playoff run and a few outliers here and there, whereas Joey's been stud status and doing awesome. So he's starting to slip and we're like, everyone's got a day. These days are just happening a little more frequently and causing some concern recently. Please, for the love of God, Matt Murray, get back in the lineup. We miss you and we need you.
Matt Murray still has like
he's still number 1
in the league. Yeah.
But like I don't think that's a super bold hot take. I think it was ridiculous that Joey stayed in as long as he did. I'm pretty sure I tweeted out when I was live tweeting the game, the Simpsons gif of like, stop, he's already dead. Because I thought, 2 goals in, it looked like he wasn't in the game. His head wasn't in the game. Give him the hook and just have him hang it up because it's not working.
Yeah,
But
Yeah.
I believe he had faced like .2 expected goals against by the time he'd allowed 2.
like it's just nuts. And it's always a bummer when like I think pretty sure it was either his first or second shot the Grew faced went in and we're like, oh, here we go, it's starting. But I mean,
Yeah.
you're coming in pretty cold, so you got to give him a little bit of grace. The same thing happened to Matt Murray a few weeks ago, but yeah, I think we should have yanked him way earlier because I mean it was 3-2 going into the first intermission, so we were totally in it, and then it just started slipping and slipping and slipping, and before you knew it, it was out of our reach there.
Yeah, no, I agree with both of you. Like in reality, I think it is the history of both these goaltenders with the Kraken. Like I'm not gonna stand up on a soapbox and say, Joey Decourt is Jesus Christ in this matter. Like he's definitely had, he hasn't been good this season. Like we need a goaltender and we need a goaltender who's gonna be reliable. And quite frankly, like we just haven't had that this season. So like Joey has to be better. Grew needs to be better. But when it comes to that history, we've had, as Matt mentioned it, we've had 4 years, 4.5 years of Philip Grubauer's numbers, and it's just been the same old song and dance. And Joey's absolutely stood on his head during the times that he has played. So, there's going to be a lot of people that are going to give that grace to, Joey right now. Like if it continues on, that could change, and that could change really quickly because, goaltending is your last line of defense, and you desperately need it. So,
Especially when you don't score
100% agree.
goals.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then you kind of go to that other thing, and it's just like this team can't score. Like the amount of times, I don't know if you witnessed it over like these 2 games, like the amount of opportunities they had, and they just couldn't do it. It's like the net was like shrunk, and it was like they were playing mini sticks, and you got like what you bought one of those like mini hockey nets when you're playing mini sticks, and that's the net they're trying to score on because like none of these guys can score, and it's crazy. Like Shane Wright, haven't noticed him on the ice, you know. Like even Matty Beniers, I haven't really even noticed him. Like all these guys that even like Tolvanen, like you name it, like the fact that our top player has 16 points this season is downright embarrassing. I saw a stat. Evan Bouchard, who's a defenseman for the Edmonton Oilers in a 13 game stretch, has 16 points.
Yep, that sounds about
Like,
right.
like give me a break. Like, we can talk about goaltending like as much as we want because I definitely agree that that is one of our huge crux of dealing with this team right now. But like this team can't score. And I don't think going out and getting a top line talent is going to fix that because we've seen players come in that have been like, oh, this guy's a good player. He can score goals. And then he gets sat on the Kraken and just disappears.
To be
And
a
I'm
little fair, as of late, the last 2 games, these 2 games, we generated like 3 expected goals in the Oilers game. We scored 4. We generated like 3 expected goals in the Wings game. We scored 3.
Yeah.
So the last 2 games looked okay offensively, but yeah, across the season, of course.
Yeah, but like even like okay, so like Monty gets his goal, awesome. We got Freddie gets a goal, but like we're missing like the big guys. Like where are these guys that have been like touted as
Yeah.
goal scorers? Like that's the
Namely,
one. Like
namely Beniers. Yeah, namely
yeah, like
Beniers.
I need a Matty goal. I need a Shane goal. Like get
Beniers,
these.
Beniers is the lowest on the team in terms of goals scored above expected. It's
Yeah,
like negative 2.7 now. So we need
like
like 3 or 4 goals out of Matty.
yeah, and don't get me wrong. I understand he's more of a defensive minded player, but like if you're making 7.5 million, like put the puck in the damn net.
No, what's
Like
crazy too with the expected, like he's getting the opportunities.
I
Like
know, but like
he's
there has to
literally
be.
he's making the shots. They're just not going in.
Yeah,
And
but at that point,
yeah,
like we can make the excuses being like, oh well, they're making the attempts, being like, yeah, but like
no, yeah, I might be a
like
finishing issue. I don't know.
I don't know at this point because like we talked about like the second season where everybody seemed to score and every puck was going in the net, but like since then it's like nobody can do it. Like Jared McCann's the only one that can do it,
Hmm.
and the buddy's been injured for like half the season, and he comes back.
Another one that needs to kind of turn up if we're gonna be good and similar to McCann is like Tolvanen, right? Like
Yeah,
Tolvanen needs to kind of be like a McCann sniper.
Dude, I
When we're
texted
hot.
Derek during the Oilers game and I said I legitimately forgot that Ellie Tolvanen was on this team
yeah.
until he scored.
Well,
Like
like well, it's the same thing with Shane Wright. Like I actually forgot that we had Shane Wright. Like Buddy, who had how many goals last season? 19.
yeah.
Has like completely like Thanos decided to do like one of his snaps, and like Wright was one of the unlucky people that just disappeared into the void.
Maybe we
Like
could get Morgan Geeky.
Do not start on Morgan Geekie. I'm so mad, man. Oh my god. But he has more goals this season than the half the team is going to get at the end of the year.
The jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. And new customers, this one is just for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you will get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus, age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gambling resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. I have two other things I want to bring up. One, we mentioned Jared McCann already. I'm super glad that he scored during the Oilers game because hopefully that's going to help, pick him up after this first couple games back from injury and get him kind of into that groove. I lied. There's going to be three things. Freddie Gaudreau scoring his first goal as a Kraken is awesome. That's like he's just he reminds me of when we would talk about Chandler Stevenson last season and like how smooth and effortless he would make a lot of things look. Like his shootout goal that he had and then his goal in this game too. Like he just picked the guy's pocket and danced in and scored. And he just like, I don't know. He's someone I've never paid close attention to because I've never had a reason to before this season, but I'm liking that Freddie Gaudreau pickup. And the third thing I want to mention, I forgot to bring this up in our vibe check. We are having a record of 1-8-2 when wearing alternate jerseys since we have started having alternate jerseys. The only win being the Winter Classic. So I think maybe we need to look at the marketing department and say, yeah, we're making money, but we just got to make those for the fans in the stands, not the guys on the ice, because 1-8-2 is horrendous.
Pretty insane stat.
Alternatives are cursed, man. Just forget about them now.
Okay, well, one thing I wanted to continue on from our talk last week, as we talked about how special teams were really struggling last week, and the Kraken had yet another abysmal week on the special teams in that department. Against the Oilers, they went 0 for 3 on the power play. Putting an asterisk there because I've seen some things saying that Tolvi's goal was at the last second of the power play, some saying it was after it expired. I don't know, but I'm still just saying 0 for 3. And then we were 0 for 2 against the Wings. On the PK, we gave up 5 out of 7 penalty kills against both teams this week. So I think looking at the power play, if I remember from last week, that puts us like 0 for 16 across the last 2 weeks. And yeah, Edmonton just ate us alive on the power play. So special teams, big problem. How are we feeling about that department?
I mean, yeah, we've struggled with it all year. The PP time just not cashing in. Obviously,
it's not a fun room right now. This is not a fun room.
Not. No fun
Pretty
room.
flaccid.
And and I mean, obviously, finishing, scoring, and in general, and then finishing and scoring on the power play kind of go hand in hand, right? When you have all of these players who seem to be kind of collectively slumping. We talked about Tolvanen, we talked about Beniers, we talked about Wright. Another name, Mason Marchment, another guy who's generating expected goals, and they're just not really going in. Pretty remarkable. I would be super surprised if this sustains. We're like 26 games into the season. I'd be remarkable if this sustains. So hopefully by like game 40, things start to like cash in and we maybe even start getting goals above expected. Oh my God. Oh, what a concept like Colorado does in every single game. But yeah, I mean, really, when you think about like playoffs and the Stanley Cup, special teams is like one of the biggest parts of that, right? Because you have usually teams that are very even, and it's almost like a game of chess where like there's that one weakness that needs to be exploited. Like, okay, you just committed a penalty. We have to cash in on this. If you look at like Edmonton in the playoffs, like when they go on the power play, the other team's fans are like, oh my God, that's a goal against. That's just not that's, like honestly, there should be like an opt-in to like keep a fifth player on the other side because I think the Kraken would do great because
Can you decline a penalty?
historically our 5-on-5 has been remarkably better than our 5-on-4, which is just insane to me. I don't know if that's like a structure problem, if it's like a strategy problem. Like Alex said at the beginning of the show, like this has gone through three coaches, so I, I don't know.
I think at this rate, anytime we get a penalty against us, we just give them the goal and then we go back to 5-on-5. We'll just like surrender a point and
Yeah.
continue on our merry way.
And you subtract it from Lindgren's career or season points.
But also the other thing that I'd like to just say is that like you hope that they figure this out. But I remember last season when they were talking to Bilesma and he's like, yeah, they just got to figure it out. Like it'll click eventually. And it was like game 60. And I'm like, okay, it should have clicked like 30 games ago, 40 games ago. Like, I don't know why, but I feel like this core of players it's just not going to click. Like you can hope for everything in the world and for these guys to figure it out, but I don't have any any belief that like this team, this group of guys are going to be like, we figured it out. We have sorted out how to score on the power play at an effective level. It's going to be like, hey, we got a power play goal. It'd be like, great guys. The last time you got one was in October. It's February. Figure it out. And it's going to be like that's how I kind of feel with this team is that sure, we're going to get a goal here and there, but they're never going to effectively figure out the power play. And I don't think they're going to figure out the PK at this point either now.
Just think about it though. Like, don't stop believing, man. Just think about it. Like, game 45, just the goals are pouring in, and you're like, oh my God, Matty Beniers is at 20 goals.
He has a double hat trick. What the hell?
Dude, it's very possible, especially in hockey. I would not count them out, especially with how bad the offense has been. That's why I'm saying I don't think it's sustainable. We've never really seen the offense be like this bad on like a season level, especially like 3 years ago with a lot of like the same core. The goals were just, and especially McCann, Eberle, Schwartz, like all these guys just pouring in above expected. Obviously, you also had Donato, Geeky, Sprong, all three of which are not on the team anymore. But no, you also had goals pouring in there. Maybe it is like we've talked about, like the lack of that like super duper solid fourth line with like this team, how you kind of need that to be present for the other lines to also produce. But yeah, hopefully something comes around.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. We've re-signed again Daniel Sprong for the third time.
I'm down.
Well, why not? Let's just figure it out. But I think the other thing I wanted to just bring up really quickly is that I don't know about like Derek, you don't get to witness this because you live in Seattle, but myself and Matt get to enjoy commentary from other teams' broadcasters. And I will tell you that a lot of these broadcasters will highlight that not only do the Kraken not know how to score, this team doesn't know how to shoot. So you can't score if you don't shoot. And it's not like, oh, the Blackhawks, commentary team said this. It's like, oh, Detroit said this as well. Oh, Edmonton. Oh, Hockey Night in Canada has echoed it 3 or 4 times. And
well,
you're like,
see, they all operate on the national narrative because none of them actually watch Kraken games.
Yeah,
So
but they don't
they're
shoot
just
the puck.
they're getting fed the Dom Luchizison's articles. That's the only thing they're reading.
So you say that though, and then you look at the actual shot counter, you're like, oh, we got 16 shots and there's 4 minutes left in the third. Okay.
Hey, quality over quantity, baby. All day.
Oh, we
every
haven't
day.
scored yet. Oh God.
To shed a little silver lining now, at least, we did have some milestones that occurred this week once again. They all happened for Vince Dunn this week, as he had a double dose of 300. He played in his 300th game as a member of the Seattle Kraken, and he also earned his 300th career NHL point with an assist against the Detroit Red Wings. So, again, just any little chance we have to celebrate when things are as bleak as they are, we'll take that for sure. We are promptly going to take that positivity and run it into the ground, as I want to pose to you guys the question of, was the Oilers game that happened this week the worst Kraken game of all time? We have the luxury of having, this is the one case where I think we have a luxury of a limited sample size, a limited pool to pull from, that there's not a whole lot that we have to call back on. So in my recent memory, I think this definitely has to be one of the most painful games that I've ever had to sit through. Made only worse due to the fact that because of this loss, I owed a coffee and a donut to a coworker at my school because he is an Oilers fan and I lost that wager. But between a poor showing from the goalies, which we have gone on over and over and over again so far this week, Yanni Newman scoring the final goal of the game with 4 seconds left, right after I turned off the game with 10 seconds left because I said to myself, nothing's going to happen. I'm out of here. And then I got the alert that Yanni Newman scored, so I turned it back on. This game just seemed kind of cruel. One thing I did pull up that this is not the worst goal differential that we have lost by. There was a game last season against Utah that they lost 7-1.
Yes.
I wipe that from my memory, so I don't really remember much of what happened in that one. But there have been, let me see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in Kraken history that we have lost by 5 goals. And would you look at that, 2 of them have occurred this season. So where does this game sit for you in your memory banks?
That was literally all I was going to add, is that I also found that. And that, yeah, we lost to Utah 7-1, 7-5 goal deficits, 2 of them being this year. So thanks for stealing that. But no, yeah, I mean, definitely up there. It's like probably top 5 for worst Kraken games ever. The only thing I wanted to add is that in that 7-1 loss to Utah, the netminder, Joey Decord, allowed 7 goals on 29 shots last year. Well, now that I'm on this site, though, I do see that our best goal margin is 7. So let's go. That's a positive.
I think you have to put this game up like one of the worst just for the sheer amount of goals we let in. Like, we were a goal away from double digits, and like I think it was just like for a full 60 minutes, it was just a bad overall game in itself for the Kraken, for offense, defense, and goaltending. So, like, not at a single moment where I was confident that they were going to win this game, even when they were going into the first intermission down 3-2. Yeah, just downright bad game, and I'm just gonna Men in Black it from my memory and just get it wiped because I just want to forget about it.
I said it off the top, but I'm holding at least a little bit of happiness and joy in the fact that we managed to score 4 goals. 9-4 softens it a little more than 7-1 when you've only gotten 1 goal. That's when I think you'd have like the party blower that doesn't make any sound coming out of it, but at least something happened.
Also, overall, the expected goal numbers for this game, 4.49 Edmonton to 3.98 Seattle. So when you look at the performance in terms of shot quality, again, tells a completely different picture.
Does your Wayback Machine retroactively look back to see what that Utah game was?
You know,
That's probably seems like a big ask. So
it could. Wait 1 second. What day was it?
it was on
April 7th or something? 2025? Yeah. April. Oh wait. Oh, I had
April
I
8th.
had that
April
April 8th.
8th.
Okay. Yeah, I pulled it up on to see who the goalie was. April 8th. Okay. April 8th. 7-1 loss to Utah. And the expected goals were 5.35 Utah to 1.83 Seattle. So much, much, much worse in terms of the shot quality. There was almost nothing for Seattle until the third period when they scored their only goal of the game. And by that point, it was already 7-0. 7-0, beginning of the third period. Right when the third period started, we got a goal, and that was the last goal of the game. So the other 19 minutes of the third period was just 7-1.
Just waiting for that miracle comeback.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, let's hope that we don't have any more just horrendous showings like that for the remainder of this season. I don't think my happiness level can take that anymore.
AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Derek, before we wrap up talking about Kraken, you did work a game this week. You worked yesterday's game against the Red Wings. Do you have rather, a shovel story from this week?
Yeah, I have a couple things. The first is that the Red Wings players, it was right after they got their first goal of the game. They were just like so active out there while we were out there. So there were so many times where I was like almost shoulder checking like Patrick Kane and like all these guys. I'm like, can you please move, go somewhere else? Just go stand by the bench, please. But they were all out there just buzzing around and did not seem to care that they were almost running into us on several occasions. Pretty unique. The only other team that does that is the Colorado Avalanche pretty consistently. But yeah, that's a fun story for another time. But also during the intermission, we had a youth hockey game in the neutral zone. And so 6 of us, the icebreakers, the ice crew, we had to stand out there and sort of guard the puck and corral the kids because there's like 25 of them out there just going back and forth in this small area. And one of my colleagues, he went to do this miraculous kick save of the puck to kick it back into the neutral zone. And after he kicked it, his leg just kind of went and he absolutely ate it. And the crowd was going wild for that. So that was a cool story this week.
Wonderful.
And just to call him out by name, his name is Spencer. And he's also bald. So people thought it was me. And yeah, that was great.
I'm sure Spencer is your middle name, and that's just you're trying to pass the
My
blame
alter
off
ego.
Yeah, your evil twin. All right, we have a very busy week ahead for our Seattle Kraken. Alex, what does the schedule look like for the next week?
Yeah, we have a very busy week. We have 4 games on the docket for the Kraken. So Monday, they are facing off against the Minnesota Wild. Wednesday, it's against the Kings. Friday, it's against the Utah Mammoth. And Sunday, it's against the Sabres. I don't know about you, but I'm not really feeling that confident going into this week. I want to be confident, but I'm not. When I look at the schedule, I think we might be able to pull out 1 win. So I'm going to go with a 1-3 record.
You know what? It's always toxic positivity land for me. I'm going 4-0-0. Yeah, and I think we beat the Mammoth 7-1 to get paid back for that fateful day on April 8th of 2025.
So here's the little bit of hope that I'm going to hang my red eye Seattle Kraken hat on that I'm wearing right now. Looking at the standings in the Pacific right now, the Kraken have had a very light schedule to this point. So we have a couple games back of everyone else in the placements that they're at. So if we are to come out of this game with a handful of wins, we can make some big skips up that Pacific leaderboard, especially with how tight things are right now. It's like we have played 26 games. Vegas is the next closest at 27 games, and they are 6 points up on us. But like we have 2 games in hand against the Kings, 3 games in hand against the Oilers, and 4 games in hand against the Sharks. So if we were to come out, I'm going to optimistically say like 2-2 this week. We can still have a little bit of movement, and if that one of those wins can come against the Kings, that'll be big. So I'm going to put all my energy into trying to get a win against the Kings.
I love that breakdown. Thank the heavens that we don't have to play all 3 of those games in hand against the Oilers, because that would not be good.
Yeah, I don't think we have any more games against them, do we? Are we finally free of their clutches?
I think we've played them 3 times. I don't know if we played them
we've
again.
played them
Probably
3
not.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll just see them in the West Final before the Stanley Cup, right? Okay. And Alex, before we wrap things up fully, can you let us know how things are going down in the desert?
Absolutely. Coachella is actually playing well. Not like the Kraken right now. So the Firebirds are currently sitting 4th in the Pacific. They have a record of 12-6-3. Yager Fergus is still sitting atop the leaderboard. He's got 11 goals and 12 assists in 21 games. He's just absolutely blowing up the AHL right now. So they play on Tuesday and Thursday at the Calgary Wranglers this week. So if you got more hockey that you want to watch, definitely catch some Coachella games.
So you could have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, rest your brain on Saturday, Sunday, Kraken adjacent hockey.
Exactly. And if you live on the East Coast, that means you're watching games from like 10 p.m. onwards every night except for Saturday. So you might as well just do it.
Okay, you might as well just do it. Derek, why don't you close us out with letting people know where they can find a BTW online?
Absolutely, Matt. But first, go check out all of the sick ass designs that that Matt has come up with while high on allergy medicine over at bit.ly/BTW store. Bunch of dope stuff over there, so go check that out. Also, as I mentioned at the top of the show, you can go find Heather's articles. You can go follow her at Heather Nicole with no E, and at the Hockey News W to go see all of the sick articles that she's been pumping out. And also, keep your eyes on our podcast feed to make sure you tune in when she releases her Seattle Torrent episodes on BTW. Please also drop a follow and a 5-star review on the podcast app of your choice that you're currently listening to this on. And I just wanted to say, also follow us on all socials. It helps us out a whole lot. If you could take a second to either like or comment on those videos, helps a ton. Matt always be spamming me with, oh my God, like, look at all this engagement. It makes my heart so warm.
People love Mason Marchment. That's what I learned this week is people love Mason Marchment.
Of course they do. Those dreamy eyes. And I just wanted to say that, the Kraken might be dipping from the playoff picture, or they may be here to stay. So come along this anxiety-inducing journey over here at BTWSCA. All right, that is it. See you guys next week. Thanks for listening. Bye.
We going beneath the waves. Going beneath the waves.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.